Let me go across to Mohandas Pai, who we spoke with. And the first question I asked Mohandas Pai was on the tech partnership, largely Mohandas Pai, as the two governments have said that they can only be facilitators. It has to be taken forward by the industry. Then how do you see both sides, the industry on the US and Indian side, being able to take this tech partnership forward?
Well, I think the technology partnership is in software and hardware. As far as software is concerned, of the 6 million people working in software in America, 1 million are Indians. Of the 5.5 million working in India in the export industry, 3 million work for American companies. Out of 10 million working for American companies globally, 4 million are Indians. And 60% of global outsourcing in software comes to India in services. And also, we must know that out of $132 billion of capital that came in from 2014 till 2023, approximately $70 to $80 billion has come from US companies to startups. We are the third largest number of startups in the world with $500 billion of value created. So the links in software between US and India is very, very good. We have more than 1,600 GCCs, Global Capability Centers, 450 labs of technology companies from the US. And I think Bangalore and Silicon Valley are very close together. Bangalore has more people working in technology than Silicon Valley. So in software, we're very good. Maybe in technology, we're 2 years behind the United States because of universities don't invest, government does not give the money. Now in hardware, we are way, way behind. America has got a very sophisticated chip design industry, chip manufacturing industry, even though they outsource it. A lot of the technology work happens there. India doesn't have it. India has to build the chip industry. We cannot have a chip manufacturing industry of such sophistication like TSMC, which will build up packaging, which will build the base. Hopefully in 10 to 20 years, we'll have a decent, good industry of some size. I think we're going there, but we have 300,000 chip designers, testers, and embedded software people in Bangalore, the largest collection of human capital in the chip area in the world. 280 chip design companies are there in Bangalore itself. Intel has about 20,000 people, I think, in Bangalore. So I think these are all very big numbers. Now that agreement for technology with NASA for space is very good. Artemis sending a man on the moon, I think is very good. With GE engines for getting technology for the engines for our defense is very good because they'll give us sophisticated technology. We suffer in aircraft engines and other engines because government has not spent enough money in R&D. It's only been run by DRDO and the public sector. The private sector has not been involved. Now the private sector is going to be involved. Now with America opening up defense technologies to India, private sector will get involved. And with our airline companies putting 1,000 to 1,500 aircraft orders totally over the next many years, I think the MRO industry and others will come here. So I think this is a very good augury, very good start has happened. And we'll have a very deep, high quality technology partnership with the US.
All right, but Mohandas Pai, clearly this tech partnership is being propelled with an eye on China. In that context, also, I want to understand, going forward, how do you see the partnership between the two sides on a specific area of artificial intelligence?
Well, India has the third largest number of human capital in artificial intelligence. So the US-India working together will be the top superpower in AI. India has got the human capital, US has got the technology, the algorithms and capital. China has spent $150 billion for the last many years on AI. They're very sophisticated, far ahead. They got a huge database, etc. India has got huge databases, human capital, many, many companies working in that area, but we lack capital, we lack processing power, we don't have enough cloud capacity, etc., which the US has. So US-India working together, and they're already working together much before what the government has done. I think it's very good. So together we can be a force multiplier and, we can match China, better China together. US alone cannot do it. They don't have the human capital to match China. India has the human capital, doesn't have the capital and the technology and the computing power. So I think together, both countries see each other as a force multiplier. And I think that's a very good augury. This is going to be a high growth area. You must know that a huge amount of human capital is engaged in AI in India too. We don't have the sophistication of the top 10% with the US has. Apart from that, I think they're pretty good.
Okay. But, as we've already mentioned, this has geopolitical ramifications as well. So now that it is very obvious that India and the US are coming together in a tech partnership, how do you see or what do you anticipate could be the response from the Chinese side?
Well, China will obviously accelerate investment. Remember, China has $4 trillion of foreign exchange reserves. It's a $20 trillion economy. They reportedly spent $700 billion on defense, almost matching the US, right? At the new report. But they will spend more. They got human capital, they got money, they got computing power, they got hardware, they got everything. They don't lack anything except the top sophistication. They don't have those etching machines made by ASML in Netherlands, which is used for chip manufacturing, but there's a monopoly. Otherwise, Applied Material in the US make those machines. So obviously at the top end, China is lacking, top 10, 20%. They're behind maybe 2-3 years, but they're catching up. They got the capacity to invest, they got everything. And as far the US is concerned, you know, the US has outsourced all these chip manufacturing plants. They're spending $60 billion to get them in. Japan is accelerating. Intel is investing in Israel and Germany. So a lot of investment is happening by American companies because America understands that China is dominating and they can't depend on China. So I think they need India as an ally. India needs the US as a counter to China to make sure that we don't get knocked out of this industry. And I think there's a symbiotic relation from the few. Of course, there'll be an acceleration in investment in AI and other top technology in the United States and China. Because now the battle lines are very clear, and India as a partner of the US will be a force multiplier, and US as a technology partner will be a force multiplier for India too.